Hey, this is Ina, and with you in the fight back. Today I'm going to do something even more unusual considering the stuff I normally do. And let's look at Justice League #1. That's right. If you don't know, and you should make sure you're following Andrew for all comic-related news, is the DC Universe is pretty much relaunching everything.
hmm
It's pretty much a big reboot for a lot of stuff. Again, Andrew can give you all the details specifically.
The basic concept is that they're relaunching their product.
Yeah.
Reboot is a very strong word. Certain things are changing, but certain things aren't. For example, Batman's history, Green Lantern's history is relatively staying intact, but Superman's marriage is annulled. This no longer existed at all. The Justice League's history is changed out. If you look at the actual cover, you notice that they have the Big Seven. However, Martian Manhunter is replaced by Cyborg. They're condensing the timeline down from like 20 and 15 years to 10 years. Batman's been around for 10 years, and then all the other superheroes have been around for about 5 years, with the exception of like Dick Grayson, who was Batman's first partner, Tim Drake, all those other people. The Batman family's been around for about 10 years. So they're condensing it down, and they're really just repackaging their product and making it more accessible to new readers. People who have never been a fan of comic books at all at any point can jump on. Doug's been a fan of comic books, but he hasn't been able to get back in because it's too convoluted. It's like the Star Wars expanded universe. It's a beautiful universe, but it's too convoluted and it's intimidating for people to get into. So they're just repackaging their product. I'm gonna get the light.
The truth of the matter is, I was into comics big time in the mid to late 90s. I kind of fell out of it mostly because of college and other stuff. And I know that I could actually have afforded a lot of it at the time, but I had so much other stuff going on that I did fall out of it. And I figured, with actual this whole relaunch, I thought, this would be a good time to actually pick up a few, see how it's going. And for issue 1, It takes place about what is it, 5 years
Yeah.
before whatever the current
The
period
cu-
is.
the current in the present DC universe, this takes place 5 years beforehand. There's only four titles that actually technically six if you think about it, that are set outside the present time. Justice League #1 set 5 years in the past. So is Action Comics, All Star Westerns, and Western times. Demon Knights is set in the medieval times, and Legion Lost and Legion Superheroes is in the future and going back and forth. But go ahead, sorry.
Oh, just to point out, and there's spoilers here, so if you don't want to hear it, please stop.
If you want a spoiler-free review, you can go to my review,
Yeah.
which the
Pretty
link is at
much,
the bottom.
there's no Justice League in issue 1, and the police are hunting Batman when it starts,
hmm
and he's after, what is it, one of Darkseid's creatures.
Parademons, Darkseid's
Yeah,
footsteps.
Parademons.
They're like the Koopa Troopers of
Yeah,
Darkseid.
okay. So he's after one of them, and he meets up with Green Lantern, and Green Lantern is fights off the police, and uh, he's going on about how great he is, like, oh, I'm in charge of this whole sector, the whole Green Lantern story, and he's like, what superpowers do you have, Batman? Can you fly? No. Can you have super speed or super strength? No. And it's just pretty much so you're just a guy in a bat suit, and of course, well, he says that Batman manages to take off his ring, and that's probably my favorite part of the whole
hmm
comic. And they managed to fight off the dark side parademons, and they figure it's connected to the alien in Metropolis, Superman, if you don't know. So they go there, and the issue ends with Superman appearing, and actually, is a cool new costume.
Yeah, seeing that you don't actually have to deal with copyright stuff, I can show if you don't mind.
No, I don't care.
Okay. Yeah, everyone gets a new costume. You can see it on the cover, but this is basically Superman's new costume. You notice
Yeah.
the trunks are gone, and he has a collar now, and the belt has been changed. Minor differences. It caused a bit of an uproar with fans, but if you think about it, it's Superman. It's not like it looks like Wolverine, and you
Yeah.
don't know who it looks like. It's Superman.
But the thing is, normally when I review something like this, I would give you more social commentary. But in terms of first issue, you really don't see that. The best part is really the interaction between Batman and Green Lantern. Batman is probably my favorite superhero,
He's mine,
and
honestly.
I've always been a DC fan over Marvel, and
hmm
so that's just where I'm coming from. And aside from that, the artwork is fantastic. It's by the DC artist Jim Lee.
Who is also co-editor. Jim Lee
Yeah.
does fantastic art. He worked for Marvel in the '90s, but created Wildstorm and started working on with DC Comics 100%. Probably pound for pound my favorite artist next to George Perez, and I also got to meet him, luckily. So
Mm.
um, let me see if I can pull up some good art out here. Uh, but yeah, the basic the highlight of the story. What you got to understand is this story is written by Jeff Johns, and Jeff Johns. If you know anything about comic books, Jeff Johns is kind of a mixed bag. For the most part, he's a great writer. His biggest faults is just the fact that he does fantastic build up and then he doesn't always deliver, which you don't get in this comic so much because it's only one issue. It's not a complete story arc. And I agree with Doug in that some of the best stuff is just the interactions between Green Lantern and Batman. The stuff going on the side, like the Parademons or Superman, isn't as exciting because what makes the Justice League work so well is a team. It's not a family. It's not an organization. It's a team. Team is the key word. And the team, although they're not a family per se, and I use that term loosely because not to get too much into other stuff, but like the Teen Titans, it's a family. They live together. They
Yeah.
work together. They socialize. The Justice League meet up. They say, "Hey, what do we have to do? Oh, we got to save Iraq. Okay, do that." Then they go home and do their own thing. But like I said, the interactions work out great here because you have Batman and Green Lantern, and you don't have any more polar opposites in the world than those two. And what makes it even more interesting is everyone's scared shitless of Batman because he is, well, intimidating.
Batman.
He's Batman. The only person that isn't is Green Lantern. He shows up and goes, "You're just a dude in a suit. What can you
Uh,
do?" I mean, even though
get your ring.
yeah, even though Batman owns him, Green Lantern's still not scared of him. He's the man without fear.
So, as first issues go, yeah, it's actually very good. It's very entertaining. I enjoyed it, and it probably even beyond the dialogue, the best part is the artwork. Anything Jim Lee does art for is actually worth checking out. Even Batman and Robin, The Boy Wonder by Frank Miller.
Let's not talk about
Yeah,
that.
that's probably the worst comic I've ever read, and it's just something you'd rather look at than read.
Yeah, it's a good issue. This is definitely a story arc issue. A lot of DC
Yeah.
Comics, New 52, which are 52 new titles coming out. Um, they're trying to do more individual one-shot stories, but this is obviously going to be a full story arc telling the origin of the Justice League. So in this, you only actually get to see four Justice League members. You see Batman, Green Lantern mostly, a cameo from Superman because he's a preview for next issue, and then you see Cyborg before he actually becomes Cyborg. It's a good story. It starts off well. We're just going to have to see where it goes, but if it continues the way it is, I'm excited.
Yeah.
But I'm also a ridiculously huge comic book fan. So the art's good, the writing's good. You have anything else you want to say about it?
Just to say, to those of you may be wondering, why does someone who reviews Antonio Gramsci or stuff on Hitler's ideological army reviewing comic books? For the simple reason, as Lenin said, man does not live by politics alone. It's sometimes you need a little break, and I do take breaks from it. And this is just a update for my viewers who actually sat with this, and you should have because it's my channel. But some upcoming projects. Again, as these come along, I'll no doubt review them. But some stuff that's coming up will be Lenin on the Mass Line, something on anti-imperialist politics, just some contradictions I see among certain movements, and I have stuff on Nepal and Venezuela in the making, in the long term, coming weeks. You people got to give me time to produce it. Again, I always take suggestions, and I appreciate all comments given. So this is Ina saying, peace out.
One final note before you go. For those who out there that are interested in comics and they might be intimidated, this is really the time to get into comic books for at least DC because right now they're relaunching this and making it accessible to new readers. If you see comic books as a childish-like medium, I assure you it's not. Comic books is just like any other fictional medium, whether it be a novel, whether it be movies, television, plays, theater, anything. It's just delivered in a different format. Is it campy at times? Yes, but there's some great writing and there's some great writers that have gone on to do great writing in comic books, and there's a lot of great movie writers in too. A lot of novelists who are very popular have gone over and done comic books. So if you've ever been interested in comic books, this is the time to check it out. And if you're hesitant, if you have no interest, I dare you to pick up just one issue. Pick up Justice League #1. Take a shot at it. It's only going to be $4. This is the most expensive series in DC. The rest is going to be $3. But and pick it up and give it a chance. If you go to DC.com, they have all the listing of all the comics that you can pick up: Batman, Superman, Green Lantern, other stuff. So I'm sorry if I took too long right there.
Whatever.
But yeah, and if again you're still hesitant, Doug will be reviewing this, and my channel is mainly comic book reviews,
Yeah.
so you can always check it out there.
I'm done.
Okay, so peace out for now.